Welcome to episode 17 of Chumps to Champions. It's a brand new season, it's my second season in charge of Chelmsford City, and we're now in the Vanarama Conference after being promoted last season from the Conference South, which was an incredible overachievement. It's going to be a tough season, I think. I'm going to, in this video, just give you a season preview, and then we will play our first match of the conference season. As you may already have noticed, the team is rather different to last season. There are some players that have remained, but I've brought in a lot of new faces. So I'm going to first of all show you the transfers over the summer that I made, the ins and outs from the club. So going out of the club, I did let a few players go out on frees, including Leon Redwood, who was a bit part player, would play anywhere I needed him to play. But he wanted a reasonable amount of money to stay, and at this level I just couldn't really afford to keep him, considering the sort of player he is. He's not really good enough. Taggart's gone as well. He was a mainstay in the team. He played every match last season, but he's getting on a bit. He's 33. I decided to get rid of him, mainly because I've brought in a player similar to him, but is a bit of an upgrade on him, I would say. Christian Smith went as well. He's actually gone to Maidstone on a free, back in the Conference South. I've let Michael Cheek go, which some of you may be a bit upset about, but I decided to give my other players a shot. Some of the newer players that I've signed, some strikers that have come in, some strikers that I've kept. He wanted about £450 a week to stay, and the wage budget is already slightly over, I think. Also let a couple of youngsters go. You don't need to know about them as you haven't seen them before. Okay, coming into the team then. First of all, the loan signings. I've been partnered with Plymouth. They are my parent club now. Of all teams, it's so random. I mean, how many miles separate Chelmsford to Plymouth? I don't know, quite a lot. They're in the southwest and Chelmsford's in the east. It's a rather strange affiliation there. But anyway, I've managed to get a couple of decent loan signings out of it. Callum Hall, who is very versatile, can play almost anywhere, as you can see there. Rather ridiculous, an 18-year-old. He will be useful. He's a bit like Leon Redwood, I guess. He's replaced him. His technical attributes aren't great. They're pretty awful. Mental, he's got some good ones there, and a couple of good physicals as well. So he might prove to be useful. He's probably not really good enough for the conference Premier, but time will tell. Ryan Lane's another one, another very versatile player. So I brought in two very versatile players. He's got better technicals, not so good mentals or physicals, but those two could be useful at some point in the season. Now, the free transfers, I've signed quite a few, as you can see. Danny Waldron on a free from Bromley, who made the playoffs last year in the Conference South, so I've signed one of their players. Danny Waldron, midfielder, central midfielder. I need a few midfielders because of the formation I am playing. Sticking with the same formation simply because of a lack of fullbacks around. At Bromley, he played quite a number of games for them last season. Not the greatest average rating, only one goal actually. But he probably will be a backup midfielder on £400 a week, which is quite a lot. Now this is the replacement for Taggart. Unfortunately, some of his attributes have started plummeting since signing him. He's 26, he's a left-sided midfielder who can also play left-back and attacking midfielder left as well. He's useful, he's got similar sort of set-piece attributes, slightly worse I think, but he's got very good long throws which could be useful at this level. He's got a similar pace to Taggart. He's a younger version of Taggart, slightly better I think. We'll see, that aggression may prove to be a problem with yellow cards and that sort of thing. Now this is an interesting one. Taylor Tombides. You may have heard of Dylan Tombides, who unfortunately passed away of cancer. The ex-West Ham player was in the news quite a lot when that happened. This is his younger brother, so he's come from West Ham on a free. Probably one of my better players at the club now. He's actually on £600 a week, which is the biggest contract I think. I'm hoping, I've gambled on him, I'm hoping that he will improve, and if we do eventually go up to League 2, perhaps he will be a player that can play with me at that level as well. He's decent, he's got good pace and acceleration, good first touch technique, so technically he's quite good with flair as well. If I can improve some of the other things like crossing, that he could be a useful right-sided midfielder, can also play central midfield as well if need be. Callum McNaughton, centre-back. Now, unfortunately, Harry Hickford, I wasn't able to sign again on loan because MK Dons want him to play with better quality players. So I've had to sign a couple centre-backs. Unfortunately, I haven't managed to find players as good as Hickford. So Callum McNaughton's come into the team on a free. He was at Lewis last year, worked the Spaces club, and could be a good play. Started at West Ham as well, actually, before going all the way down the divisions. But he's back in the Vanarama Conference with me. I don't know if he's going to be first choice. He may have to be, simply because of a lack of defenders. Now, Lewis Toomey is a striker, and he's actually come from Boreham Wood, who I beat in the semi-final of the playoffs last year. He did get 8 goals last season, not brilliant, but he is a free, and I'm hoping he'll be a good substitute to bring off the bench. He doesn't look good, does he? None of the players look good. He's got 10 finishing, 5 composure, 7 off the ball. It just doesn't add up to being a good striker at all, but I've gambled. We'll see what happens with him. He may not turn out to be anything special at all, but I needed players. Chris Kinnear could be a good player. He's a central midfielder for me. Probably will be either first choice or second choice player. I think he's on the bench for this game coming up. He's a box-to-box or ball-winning midfielder. He looks quite good. He's similar to Sawyer, I think, but perhaps slightly less aggressive. Well, definitely less aggressive, only 10 on aggression. He was at Dover last year in the Vanarama Conference, but they were actually relegated. So that doesn't perhaps bode well for me. Harry Lewis is a free signing who I've really gambled on. Like my scouts who went out to look for players, they just thought I didn't recommend him, and I looked at him, and I thought, wow, 12 finishing, 11 composure, 11 off the ball, 12 acceleration and pace. Good natural fitness, good work rate, very good work rate. This could be a really good player to have up front, and I think he's going to be my main striker this year because of those reasons. He looks good. He can actually play midfield as well, but I wouldn't play him there. He's only got 4 on passing. So he's only 18 as well. He started off at Oxford before moving to Aston Villa, and they released him. So I think this guy could be a good striker at this level. And lastly, Ricky Shakes, who's actually an international for whoever this team is, Guyana. 2 goals in 10 games for them. He's probably my best player, strangely enough. My last signing as well was actually at Boreham Wood as well last year, and did okay, decent average rating. But he will be either my central midfield or right side. Got the option to play in either of those places. He's got decent dribbling and crossing. He's pretty slow, but he's got good work rate and determination, so that might make up for it. We'll see how he does. Those are the signings so far. Obviously, I can make other signings as we go further into the season. But I'm quietly unconfident, to be honest, about this. This is the season preview. This is why I'm quietly unconfident. I'm quite loudly unconfident now. I've just told you. I'm predicted to finish bottom. I was obviously predicted to finish 17th in the Conference South last year, and we finished 5th and got promoted, so that was amazing. But it doesn't bode well that we're 2,000 to 1 to win the title. Barnet are favourites. We've got big teams like Bristol Rovers and York in there who can pose problems. Eastleigh, an up-and-coming team, doing very well at the moment. Got Accrington in there, Forest Green, Grimsby, who's my first opponents, Macclesfield. There's some ex-league teams in there, recently ex-league teams, and some good, solid conference teams. My 2 players to watch are Mark Hughes and Mambo. Mambo, who made multiple mistakes last year, is now my best defender, apparently. That does not bode well at all. I've decided to keep him. If we look at the squad, you can see the players that I have kept. I've got Lovelock, who's a really good goalkeeper. I actually like the look of him. Look at those attributes. He can become a really good player, I think. One of the... probably a League 2, League 1 player, I would say. He's a decent player for most Vanarama Conference sides now, but looking at his attributes, I reckon he can become a good player. If I can improve that handling, especially, that would help. What have I clicked on here? Oh, I clicked F11 to try and pause the video, and it's gone to this screen. Well, there we go. We are in debt because of the stadium upgrade, a loan debt and all of that sort of thing. So, not sure what's going to happen there. Yeah, it's meant to be completed at the end of this year. So 24th of the 12th, 2015. So I think we'll have a slightly reduced capacity because of that. Transfer budget, we've actually got £300 to spare on wages. Is that right? And we've got £9,000 to spend. So it's okay at the moment. We can sign a couple more players. Didn't realise it was that good actually. So I've gone with the same tactic. I know this is a long video, but it's a season preview and first match rolled into one for you. And I've been blabbering away about transfers and everything so far. You probably want to watch the game, although some of you probably find this more interesting than watching actual matches. This is the lineup then. I have had to go with McNaughton at centre-back after all, because he's my third best defender behind Mambo and Haynes. If I can pick up another really good centre-back, that would be useful before the start of the season. Now, interestingly, I had a player in the reserves I didn't notice all season called John Sands, who was out on loan at Bury Town and scored a fair number of goals, obviously at a lower level. 22 goals in all competitions, and he looks relatively good. I think he's going to be my Michael Cheek replacement. He's quite good in the air. He's actually a bit slower than Cheek, I think, but he's got decent finishing. I've actually got the best finishing in the league. I'll just quickly show you something. I really like looking at these things, how you compare yourself to the rest of the league, and you can sort of tell how well you're gonna compete at different levels. For example, goalkeepers, we're sort of bottom for a couple of things. That might be because Nicholas Freund in the team, but we're actually the best at command of area. Defence, we're worst at pace. That's pretty awful, 8.00 on average, but we're best at heading. Midfield, we're worst at decisions. We're quite low on quite a few things you may have noticed, but we're actually the best at finishing. 11.83 on average, that's pretty good for this level. So hopefully we can get goals when we get into the positions to score goals. Depends whether we can actually create chances for ourselves, I guess. Going back to the team, and this is what I've gone with. You know about John Sands now. Now, the funny thing is, I've had a couple of people already say this to me. For the whole of last season, I thought it was Alex Adao with an L on the end, but that is in fact an I. My eyesight has obviously got worse, but that's Adao. It's not Adao, it's Adai or Ada. You could argue it's still Adao, but just take away. Don't emphasise the L at the end. I'm tempted to just call him Alex Adao anyway. Maybe Alex Adao. So Adao, not quite an L at the end. What am I going on about? Let's stop this. Stop this, Paul. Let's get on with the first match of the season. Let's look at the schedule first. As you can see, I was awful in pre-season. I let my assistant take control. It doesn't bode well, does it? Considering we've actually lost against the likes of Tonbridge, drawn against Brentwood and Highworth, and Enfield, who are just, poor teams. But maybe that's my assistant's fault. Oh yes, staff. I keep forgetting. There's so much going on. My staff's actually been reduced. I've got a couple of scouts and a couple of coaches, and I think signed a new assistant manager who's got better player ability and potential ratings, so hopefully it gives me a bit more accuracy when I look at my team. But I've actually got less. I've not got a physio anymore. I got rid of coaches and stuff because I wanted to bring better ones in, and then I signed a couple, and then the board won't let me sign me any more staff members, meaning I'm without a physio or a fitness coach or those sort of things. I've got a couple of scouts though, but that's pretty annoying that I can't sign any more coaches or staff members because training is going to be pretty awful, I think. What is training on at the moment? I've got it on balanced and low, and teamwork as the main focus at the moment, but I will change that up as we progress through this season. Okay, wish me luck, guys. Pray for me as we go into this first game. Let's get started then, guys, before you fall asleep. Looking at those players, I've just realised Lewis Toomey just isn't good enough, is he? Why have I signed him? He just looks awful. I don't know why. Gone with Palmer Samuels up front alongside Lewis because of old time's sake. And Adai's not even in the team for this. He was my top scorer last season, of course, but I've gone with John Sands on the bench rather than him. I do need a bigger team. I've got a few more matches in the league this season. I'll probably have a couple of FA Cup games to play and FA Trophy games and that sort of thing. So I need a bigger squad, especially as injuries is a problem with semi-pro teams. Just they get tired and injured a bit more often. So I'm glad I've got a bigger squad this time around. Whether it's good enough or not, I don't know. They've gone with a typical 4-4-2. Let's just look at the strikers. And goal looks good. I did scout him actually. And who's this guy? Watson. He's good as well. They've got better players. He's got 9 caps for Australia. No, New Zealand, sorry. I always get mixed him up. It's easy to mix them up, isn't it? He's Hamish Watson. 9 caps for New Zealand. He's only 22. Crazy. Okay. Oh, I can't get my assistant to do the instructions. Never mind. I'll have to do them myself. Do it the hard way, Paul. Don't be lazy. I used to do this thing all by myself all the time. And then I just couldn't be bothered. I got my assistant to do it, and then I would just fill in the gaps really and maybe change a couple of things. It's just quicker. It's lazy, I know, but let's go for his team talk though that he suggested, and then I'll give some individual ones to everyone. Let's see what we can do. This is what I've gone with. The instructions similar to last season. It's the same tactic. It's the same mentality and structure. Grimsby. I always used to joke about Grimsby on Golden FM Twitter. I'd use them in, not in a bad way, but I'd use them in my jokes like, you know, you're addicted to Football Manager when, we're 1-0 down already, when Wayne Rooney's manager of Grimsby Town in the year 2033 and that sort of thing. I just think Grimsby's a great name. Grimsby. It's just a funny word. I don't know why. Say hi if you're from Grimsby. But they're winning 1-0 here. It's not a good start. It's a set piece. We do seem to have problems defending set pieces, so maybe I should focus on that. We haven't done anything in this game so far. We've been unlucky so far. But let's go a bit more attacking in this second half and try and get something. We won't drop as deep. Let's be more expressive in the second half. See what we can do. Nothing going on whatsoever. No highlights apart from that goal for them. Let's turn this around. Come on. If I need to bring Percivalli and the Puffin in at some point in the season to give me a bit of luck, then I will do. But he's... we might need him already, guys. We're 2-0 down. Hamish Watson with the goal this time. We are away from home, to be fair. I can use that as an excuse, can't I? When you're losing away from home, you're just like, well, I am away from home, so, you know, I'll let them off. Or you can let me off. But it doesn't look good at this stage. I think we're going to miss Harry Hickford this year. That commanding presence in the middle. And goal was offside that time. But we need to make changes. We haven't even had a single highlight, which is just boring. Lee Sawyer's not done anything. He's had a bad game. I'm going to bring on Kinnear into midfield. I think I'll bring on Sands and play Lewis. Actually, let's play Sands as a target man on the left. Well, he's good as a defensive forward or a target man. It shows you what he's like as a player, doesn't it? So let's go a bit more fluid. We're going to go route 1 and play it up to Sands. Let's see what we can do. Come on, let's see. Come on, guys. Come on, John Sands. You're back from your loan spell at Bury Town. Didn't even know who you were. I didn't know I had you. Could be a useful player to have. Will I miss Michael Cheek? Maybe I should have kept him. Now they're on the attack again. Fanimo, he's an ex-West Ham player. Uh-oh, here they go. Or is he on loan? Maybe he's on loan from West Ham. Corner to them. Headed away. Back in. Blocked. Good block, but they're still on the attack. It's headed away by Mambo this time. We just can't get hold of the ball. Oh, here we go. Tom Bides. Was it Tom Bides? I don't know. I call him Tom Bides. That was our first attacking highlights, and it was just headed away comfortably. But we're still on the attack here. Shakes, Lewis, Sands. We're still on the ball. Chiodini. Lewis! Oh, he scored. We're back in the game. Ah, my bet may pay off with him. He looks a good player. It's not really a gamble, to be honest. He just looks like a good quality poacher. One more change to make to try and get back into this game. Shakes has had a good game. Mambo's once again having a poor game. What's he on? McNaughton's dead. I'm going to bring Girdlestone on. Maybe Mambo just can't play on the left-hand side. Oh, biggest news of the summer. I can pick numbers now, and Mambo is number 5, of course. Has to be. I think we're going to have to go overload to try and salvage something from this game. And we're going to push the guys forwards. Up they go. Who's better on the wing? Shakes or... Let's put Tombides on the wing. We'll send these two attacking. Now I've still got Mark Hughes, he's my captain, and Haynes as well. Good quality, solid players. And Sawyer, of course, with the yellow cards. The yellow card specialist. Can we get a point from this game? Although they're on the attack here, straight away after my changes. Whipped in, head, oh, good hit, but it's... thought we were going to break there, but it's back in and... Oh, we survive! They've hit the crossbar. We somehow survived that. Lovelock, just smash it. Tombides, Kinnear, Sands. Oh, that's poor. Knocked up the pitch. Haynes misses it. Why are we so awful at heading when we got the best heading? And they've made it 3-1, and I think it's all over, guys. Nah. It was a valiant effort to try and get back in. I'm going to keep with my wingers pushed forwards. Oh no, a corner. Oh, it's 4. Bloody hell. This isn't a good start to the season. False hope from that goal from Lewis, wasn't it? Looks like we're going to lose our first game in the conference. There's work to be done. I think this season is about staying up, literally. Just trying to stay up as best I can. Because they're 4-1 up and it's comfortable for them. They've had 17 shots to our 7. They've actually had less possession though. Is it going to be 5? Oh, it's a great save at point blank range from Lovelock. Sands has done nothing since coming on. Oh, they're through again. Oh, we get lucky. It's a corner. And we're dreadful at defending corners. I need to sort out my defending corners, I think. They've made it 5. We need Percivallian the Puffin. If you don't know who he is, he's a little cuddly toy thing that I had for the FM League at the start of the year. And appears on my second channel, which I really need to upload some more videos to at some point. Sorry if you're waiting for more videos on my second channel. We've lost, but please leave a like on this first game of the second season just to encourage me to push on and try and turn this around, because that was not good. I'm going to say don't worry about the result. Mambo was awful. Haynes was awful. My defence was just awful. Shakes and Lewis had good games. That's about it. 5-1. It's not a good start. I assume we're bottom of the table after the first game. Yes, we are. Well, it did not go to plan. I'm going to see if I can get any more loans in, because I have tried, but there's not really any quality ones that can come to me. But I'll have another look. The next game's against the fellow promotion team, Sutton United, who won the Vanarama South. So we have to be winning those sort of games if you want to stay up, to be honest. 3 days time as well. The next video, I think, will be... I don't know. I'm not going to say for certain. I will do one that I feel is right, depending on... I want to try and get as many videos up as possible as well, so I don't want it to be too big a gap, because then you'll have to be waiting ages for the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will see you in episode 18 shortly.